In Kotlin, type aliases can be used to give general type names a more domain-specific name, or long and complicated names a more succinct name. With Kotlin 2.2, this feature is being extended to include nested-type aliases. First, let's review what exactly type aliases are and why they're helpful in developing more readable and maintainable code. A type alias is a way to define an alternative name for a type. You then use this name in your code instead of the original type name. Let's look at an example. So let's create a lambda to combine the names of band members into a new band name. But we are keeping the number of band members to exactly 4, a quartet, because all the best bands are quartets, right? The signature of this function is string, 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 string to string. Notice that the input type parameters together form a string quartet. We might want to pass this lambda around in our band name formatter app, and having to refer to this long function signature is actually quite cumbersome. So let's define a type alias for it. In this code snippet, we have 3 variables of lambdas with that function signature. The first, simple names, names all the band members. The second, friends names, names the first band member and then the phrase and friends. And then the third, original name, hardcodes the name to the quarryman. But this snippet would read so much better if we use type aliases. So let's use AI Assistant to do that refactoring for us. Let's press Command and \, which will open AI Assistant in editor prompt. Then we type our prompt and watch AI Assistant do its thing. Now AI Assistant has created a type alias called band name formatter for a lambda that takes 4 strings and returns the string for us. We can accept the results. Look how much nicer this reads. Less duplication and more clarity. Next, let's see how to use these lambdas. We can create a function called showBeatles that has band name formatter as a parameter and prints out the formatted quartet name. If we pass the simple names lambda to showBeatles, we will get Paul, John, Ringo, and George printed out. Or we can pass in the friends names lambda and we will get Paul and friends. We just covered top-level type aliases because band name formatter was defined in the top level of the file. Next up, a new feature called Xnested-type-aliases. They are type aliases that aren't top-level type aliases, but rather type aliases that are contained within other types. Nested-type aliases are in beta from Kotlin 2.2, and you can start using them now with the compiler option flag. Let's look at a class called instrument stock service. We know that we need to represent our stock, and we'll do that by creating a mapping of instrument types to the instrument IDs of those types of instruments. Let's create a nested type alias for the unique instrument types called instrument type, and a nested type alias for the instrument ID set called instrument IDs. Notice we are using the UUID class from the Kotlin standard lib to represent instrument IDs here. We can then define an update stock function to do a stock take and then update our stock variable. I decided not to make a type alias for the map for transparency of the key and value types. Clearly, this feature is useful, but it does come with some restrictions. One of these being that nested type aliases can't capture the type parameters of the enclosing type. Say we wanted to refactor our instrument stock service to be more generic. So far, our instrument stock service restricts us to use instrument type and instrument IDs. What if we wanted to build a more generic stock service for arbitrary items? These items could be anything: guitars, books, even plushies, and their IDs could be serial numbers or ISB numbers, and so on. But if we want to do the same thing as instrument stock service with a nested type alias, it won't work. We can't refer to item stock service type parameter U in our definition of item IDs like that. This restriction keeps the design of nested type aliases as simple as possible for the majority of use cases. But how do we fix it? We can reintroduce the type variable u in the nested type alias definition. Here, we add the u type parameter to item IDs and also in the stock map variable. You can find out more about the feature, including more details on its restrictions in the keep link down below. That's all for now, and have a nice Kotlin.
I wanna stay with you.